It's Monday, June 22nd, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Google returns to smart speakers with Gemini built in. Qualcomm circles a multi-billion-dollar chip deal, and a wave of fresh funding reshapes the AI landscape. Let's get into it.
Google has returned to the smart speaker market for the first time in 6 years, and this time the assistant inside is Gemini. The new Google Home speaker, priced at $99.99, was announced on June 17th and reaches buyers on June 25th. It replaces the aging assistant with Gemini for Home, which Google says understands natural conversation and adapts to how each person speaks. The device ships with 10 new voices, a redesigned globe-shaped body, and roughly 2.5 times the base of the older Nest Mini. A premium tier, starting at $10 a month, unlocks Gemini Live and camera search. It is Google's clearest signal yet that the home is the next battleground for conversational AI.
From the living room to the boardroom.
Anthropic is planting a flag in Asia. On June 17th, the company opened its first office in Seoul and revealed that several of South Korea's largest enterprises are now deploying Claude across their operations. Among them are the internet giant NAVER, Samsung SDS, and LG CNS, spanning search, cloud, and systems integration. The move underscores how aggressively frontier labs are courting enterprise customers beyond the United States, where adoption is increasingly tied to local presence and trust. For Anthropic, Korea represents both a manufacturing and a technology powerhouse hungry for automation. The expansion also arrives as the company prepares for a possible public listing, having confidentially filed a draft registration with regulators earlier this month. International revenue increasingly is the story investors want to hear.
Now, a chip mega deal.
Qualcomm is in early talks to acquire the AI chip startup Tenstorrent, in a deal reported to be worth between $8 and $10 billion. The discussions, first reported on June 16th, would mark one of Qualcomm's boldest moves yet to challenge Nvidia and AMD in the data center. Tenstorrent designs processors around the Open RISC-V standard and is led by the legendary chip architect Jim Keller, whose career includes pivotal work at Apple, AMD, and Tesla. For Qualcomm, long dominant in smartphones, the appeal is a credible foothold in AI training and inference hardware. Nothing is final in DIE, and talks could still collapse. But the reported price tag signals just how hungry the industry is for alternatives to Nvidia's accelerators.
Salesforce goes shopping.
Salesforce is reaching for its checkbook again. On June 15th, the company signed a definitive agreement to acquire Fin, an AI customer service vendor, for roughly $3.6 billion. Fin builds autonomous agents that resolve support tickets, route escalations, and handle real-time customer conversations. Salesforce says the technology will strengthen Agentforce, its platform for deploying AI agents across sales and service teams. The deal is as much defensive as it is ambitious. Salesforce has faced persistent questions about whether AI agents will erode demand for traditional customer relationship software. By buying a fast-growing AI native player rather than building from scratch, Chief Executive Mark Benioff is betting that owning the agent layer is cheaper than being replaced by it.
OpenAI bets on youth.
OpenAI is investing in the next generation of builders. On June 18th, the company introduced ChatGPT Futures, Class of 2026, a program selecting 26 students between the ages of 18 and 25 across the United States and Canada. Each participant receives a $10,000 grant, generous API credits, and direct access to OpenAI's most advanced models. The initiative is part talent pipeline, part marketing, designed to embed OpenAI's tools with the people most likely to shape the next decade of software. It also reflects a broader race among labs to win loyalty early, before students graduate into engineering roles where platform choices harden. For OpenAI, cultivating young developers is a long game with compounding returns.
Infrastructure on a grand scale.
Meta is expanding its AI footprint in India through one of the country's most powerful conglomerates. On June 10th, the company agreed to lease a 168 megawatt AI-enabled data center being built by Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries in Jamnagar, Gujarat. Reliance will construct and operate the facility, with options for Meta to scale capacity further. The deal reflects a global scramble for compute, with India emerging as a critical hub thanks to cheap land, expanding renewable energy, and a vast pool of engineering talent. For Meta, leasing rather than building lets it move faster while sidestepping the enormous upfront cost of new construction. For Reliance, it is a lucrative entry into the AI infrastructure business.
Oracle's cloud keeps climbing.
Oracle delivered a blockbuster quarter that reinforced its surprising rise as an AI cloud heavyweight. On June 10th, the company reported record fourth-quarter results for fiscal 2026, powered by surging demand for its cloud infrastructure. Crucially, Oracle confirmed an expanded relationship to run OpenAI workloads on its cloud, cementing a partnership that has reshaped how investors view the decades-old database company. Oracle's remaining performance obligations, a measure of contracted future revenue, have ballooned as AI developers seek capacity wherever they can find it. Once dismissed as a legacy enterprise vendor, Oracle has repositioned itself as a key supplier of the raw computing power that frontier models demand. Wall Street has rewarded the transformation handsomely.
Across the Pacific, a giant stirs.
China's DeepSeek, the lab that stunned the industry with low-cost models, is raising serious capital for the first time. Reuters reported on June 3rd that the company is closing its first-ever external funding round of roughly $7.4 billion, valuing it as high as the upper 50s of billions. Tencent and the battery maker C8L are among the largest outside backers, with the deal carrying an unusual structure that concentrates control with the founder and the Chinese state. The round signals that DeepSeek intends to compete at the frontier, not just on efficiency. It also highlights how Chinese AI development continues apace despite export controls, with domestic capital stepping in to fund ambitions on a global scale.
Now the funding flood.
The money powering AI startups shows no sign of slowing. Supabase, the open-source platform that has become a favorite among developers and AI app builders, announced on June 4th that it raised $500 million at a $10.5 billion valuation. The round was led by the Singapore sovereign fund GIC, with participation from Accel, Y Combinator, Stripe, and others. Supabase provides the back-end plumbing, databases, authentication, and storage that countless AI applications rely on. As building with AI becomes easier, demand for the infrastructure beneath those apps has exploded. The company says the fresh capital will accelerate its push into what it calls agentic infrastructure, the tooling that autonomous software agents need to operate reliably at scale.
Robots get a boost.
Physical AI, the effort to bring intelligence into robots and machines, attracted a major vote of confidence this month. On June 4th, the startup Generalist AI announced it had raised $400 million to build foundation models for robotics, in a round that valued the young company at $2 billion. Nvidia's venture arm was among the participants, a notable endorsement from the company whose chips power most AI training today. Generalist aims to create general-purpose models that let robots learn and adapt across many tasks, rather than being programmed for just one. It is a bet that the next frontier after chatbots is embodied intelligence, machines that can see, reason, and act in the messy physical world.
And one more big raise.
Market intelligence platform AlphaSense capped a remarkable stretch of fundraising. On June 3rd, the company announced it had closed $350 million at a $7.5 billion valuation, while surpassing $600 million in annual recurring revenue. The round drew investors including Vitruvian Partners, Accenture Ventures, and JP Morgan Asset Management. AlphaSense uses AI to help analysts and corporate teams sift through earnings calls, filings, and research at speed surfacing insights that would take humans hours to find. Its rapid revenue growth illustrates how enterprise customers are willing to pay real money for AI that delivers measurable productivity. In a market awash with hype, AlphaSense's climbing recurring revenue is the kind of metric investors crave.
Finally, Microsoft's homegrown models.
Microsoft is steadily reducing its dependence on partners by building AI models of its own. At its Build conference on June 2nd, the company unveiled MAI Code 1 Flash, an efficient coding model, as part of a family of 7 new in-house models under the Microsoft AI banner. MAI Code 1 Flash is designed to generate software quickly and is rolling out inside Visual Studio Code and GitHub Copilot. The strategy reflects Microsoft's desire for more control over cost and capability, even as it maintains its deep alliance with OpenAI. By developing proprietary models tuned for specific tasks, Microsoft can offer developers cheaper options while hedging against over-reliance on any single supplier. It is a quiet but significant shift in the company's AI roadmap.
That's your briefing for Monday, June 22nd, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.